TLC wants to highlight Kody's anger management problem and how his fury caused all of his ex-wives to leave. Furthermore, the ex-wives don't seem to be swayed by Kody's ideas as he attempts to regain control of the story, and TLC seeks to boost viewership. Additionally, I believe that the show's producers would prefer nothing more than a reunion of Kody controlling the women, trafficking them, and being the patriarch, because that's what they gave to the network and delivered to TLC, even though they create drama and try to persuade the wives to perhaps try to reunite with the family. Additionally, the show we are currently viewing has clearly gone too far. Kody told Janelle he was sorry. In his apology to Janelle, Kody also expressed regret for not shielding her from some of the early events in their relationship, failing to be her safe haven, failing to have her back, and essentially blaming their early years, his incapacity to manage his dual relationships with Meri and Janelle, and Meri for Janelle's mistreatment, assuming no responsibility whatsoever for the manner in which he brought Janelle into the family. Accepting no responsibility for leaving the family for weeks at a time while he was traveling and selling whatever he was selling, leaving the wives' home empty except for a can of beans, populating his kingdom despite knowing full well that he could not afford them and would never be able to pay for them, and leaving his wives to survive without him. And we've been watching Kody and Robyn, who pretend to be king and queen to everyone else, for 15 years. Additionally, Kody and Robyn made everyone else feel like they were constantly in the wrong, while acting like king and queen to everyone else. Why are some of your children inquiring? For what reason were they? They inquired after observing our family situation. They witnessed our distance from one another in Flagstaff. However, that is the family group. Not the interpersonal interactions, but the culture. They also noticed that Kody and I have been having a lot of difficulties. The children said, "It seemed like you and Dad weren't really close anymore in Vegas." Oh, and in Vegas. Alright, that's the reason. Alright, how the outer world is perceived. I'm concerned. I don't care about them. I don't comprehend. I have the same sentiments. I worry. Yet I'm not going to even feel the same. I don't want anyone to undervalue Meri's sacrifice because of this. I don't want somebody to tell me that Robyn has been promoted or anything else that would be my biggest concern, or that Kody and Robyn forced it on me as though I've somehow abandoned you. I was advised to leave by you. You know why, Kody. I don't know why, but this is the reason we should go speak with Nancy. I am at sitting here practicing a line or saying a line I have practiced. Being married at this time is worthy of a midlife crisis, because her daughter has fled the nest, We, misled one another about the nature of our connection. We will never be able to make amends because the damage was done so severely. Consequently, we were held responsible to God. I'd rather not answer to this church and all of its bullshit. I will thus let Meri do what she wants to do, since if I become upset with her, it would turn into a battle. It took her a very long time to comprehend, so I simply needed her to leave. The issue with Kody and Robyn is that we have been watching for 15 years and have witnessed what transpired. When Robyn pushed the divorce, we witnessed what transpired. Some people had the irrational belief that it was for the children when Robyn and Kody pushed their divorce. Tricked Meri into claiming that she had the idea, when in fact she didn't. Meri was abandoned following the divorce, despite her assurances that nothing would change. People like Janelle, for example, voiced worries that it would change things, or that viewers would perceive Robyn as being promoted and having more power and influence. Janelle even raised worries about Robyn's financial unfairness, and it turned out to be accurate. For 8 years we saw Kody and Robyn guide Meri, giving her the impression that things might improve if she would only persevere and work a little more. We heard Kody utter horrible things about Meri, including that he didn't think of himself as her husband. They lived on the same street and were like ex-partners. He's not in a relationship with her, huh? For years we witnessed him chastise and mistreat Janelle for defying his authority. We saw him claim that he was never the family's leader, and then Robyn would reply, "Kody is our leader." We watched as Robyn denigrated every other woman, always stood by Kody, and kissed his butt till Kody thought he was king. We also saw him desert his family. We observed how the familial ties seemed to be phony. Didn't the kids hardly know him? Kody's apology tour is essentially an attempt to dispel all of that and claim that it never happened. After all, losing one wife is terrible enough, but losing two makes you a failure. Janelle will go to church to get a release. Even though Kody claims he doesn't believe, he is unable to go back to his religion. Both Kody and Robyn continue to speak in Mormon or extreme Mormon, and they both employ the same cult talking points. They don't not believe, in my opinion. I just think that's what the public is being told. And I think Kody's remorse was an attempt to avoid what he anticipated. Janelle's release, another setback. Christine's tell-all book. And then realizing that Christine was writing a tell-all book in an attempt to get them all to sign NDAs that would prevent them from discussing him. After his apologies to Janelle fails, I wanted to show you a video that will be released later this week. How long this process typically takes is unknown to me. They didn't intend to authorize the release on that particular day, in my opinion. They seemed to still want to speak with Kody, but I could tell it was not happening, so I began to probe him. At last he said, "You know what? You're here. Here we are. Let's just get it done." The release experience that these ladies are receiving is very different from what the women in the cult and church are experiencing. To be fair though, I think the optics and attention these releases bring to the AUB are the main reasons they're happening so fast. And it would seem as though the AUB is forcing these ladies to remain in terrible marriages and be abandoned by their husbands just because they can. And you need to be celibate if they were to refuse these releases and prevent them from moving on. The AUB would have a poor public image as a result. The church is promoting itself just as much as Meri and Janelle are. Regarding the ladies who are part of the cult, the local church does not readily release them. Not at all. The church prophet Dave Watson is being sued by his wife, who has been requesting a release from him for years. Despite the fact that they have no relationship, no marital tie, no emotional bond, and no sexual link, he would not give her a release. He won't let her go. Therefore, the exposure this is generating will help Janelle and Meri, because it will dispel the perception that the AUB's leaders are dominating women. They consider Kody to be a failure, which is another reason they are giving the releases. Even though they are all like Kody, they despise him and see him as an embarrassment. That day, he gave it to me, and I left the place alone, which was strange. I challenge you to text or call. Today, I'm going to double dog dare you. Simply send a text saying, "Hey, I need to talk to you." Additionally, you could even suggest ending my marriage. Actually, I'm going to do it now. Take action. All I have to do is do it. Again, this is unusual, but Meri receives a release the same day she asks for one. She then advises Janelle to get in touch with the leaders and request permission to dissolve the marriage. And from the outside looking in, I find it heartbreaking that this group brainwashes women, harms them, and psychologically and spiritually abuses them into believing that they have the power as mortal humans to decide who they will be with in heaven, which is not how the Christian version of heaven is supposed to work. They also use that eternal promise as a weapon and a tool to keep the women in unhappy relationships by telling them that if they break this covenant, they will not be able to see members of their family, such as Meri's mother or Janelle's mother. Additionally, the promise that the ladies will see their loved ones again is being used as a weapon against them, and that is abusive. Even though these ladies don't believe it, it still saddens me that they were harmed in this manner. The existence of an entity that would hurt, dominate, manipulate, and abuse women mentally, emotionally, and spiritually saddens me. I find it terrible that they feel compelled to look for a spiritual release for a connection that was never acknowledged or legally acceptable after years of spiritual abuse and psychological brainwashing. Furthermore, no human man on this earth is capable of controlling anyone's eternity. It's quite antiquated. Wait a moment. Meri, this is so stupid. As if I were a business person. This is not a significant issue. These discussions aren't businesslike, perhaps because they are so intimate. You understand what I mean? All right. Meri, it's been sent. It has been sent. Tell me how it goes then. Tell me when your meeting is up there, if you would like to share it with me. And I'll be there if you want me to be. It's interesting that after all these years, Janelle and Meri continue to have a lot of problems with each other, since they were the first two spouses, and Janelle was her sister-in-law. They were friends before they got married, but they stopped being friends after that. All the accusations, all the back and forth, all the accusations. Additionally, Janelle receives assistance from Meri for her release, even after Kody apologizes to her. Even though we know that's not the case, Kody essentially held Meri responsible for all of the issues in their early relationship. Indeed. They had to contend with each other. Indeed, they were in competition with each other, but Kody was the one who established and nurtured that atmosphere. Additionally, Janelle has been openly declaring for years that she has no contact with Meri. Meri doesn't really matter to me. In addition, Meri is the person she will most likely turn to for assistance in many of the things she has expressed about her. I take it that Christine has a new husband? There was no spiritual relief for Christine. Christine had lost confidence in the religion. Therefore, despite the fact that Christine would be aware, she chooses not to see her. She would know where to go. Christine's family is still part of the cult, after all. She would thus know who to call, but she visits Meri instead. Meri has experienced the procedure. Meri is aware of the procedure, but for everything they say about Meri and her awfulness, if she is prepared to provide someone assistance in leaving the cult, such as helping them to quit the group entirely, is she a horrible person? Does her attempt to assist them in escaping the cult make her a bad person? No. Has Kody been railroading and using her as a scapegoat for years? Indeed. Will these women ever see that Kody was the cause of everything? I'm hoping so. I hope they are able to acknowledge that the hurt they inflicted on each other was a result of what Kody was doing to them, and that they are able to get past it. At the very least, I'm happy to see these two cooperating. Additionally, I appreciate Meri's assistance. All right, simply put, having moral support is good. It's hilarious that I'm so anxious about this, you know. I believe it's just because I haven't actually communicated with any members of the church leadership in over 10 years. What do people think of me? I ask myself. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Is it strange that I'm asking this question? It may be something like, well, you're no longer a member of the church. I'm not sure. I'm always anxious when I see a wild card. Thus, following years of their feuds, Janelle and Meri once again band together to defeat Kody and Robyn. Since Robyn is a devout woman, nothing will infuriate her more than Kody getting another release. It serves as a protection for her. She presents herself as really divine. She is so superior to them. She's so timeless. The queen has now been totally overthrown. She has left the kingdom. Both Robyn's and Kody's kingdoms are destroyed by this. And in their fantasy realm of their own kingdom, they are nothing. They resemble Janelle exactly. They resemble Meri exactly. They are not superior to anybody else. In actuality, they are worse in their religion. They are not successful. And once more, Meri and Janelle are collaborating. For Coyote Pass, they banded together. Here, they work together. We are all aware that Kody will attempt to place the blame elsewhere, by claiming that Janelle is the one attempting to defraud Meri of her money. We are all aware that Kody will attempt to sever their unity, since they will be exacting revenge on Meri and Janelle for their actions. He thus wants them to split off and start fighting once more. That is what will happen next. Kody and Robyn will retaliate against Meri and Janelle, and that is how the whole apologies controversy will unfold. What do you think of this then? Are you shocked to see them collaborating once more? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Don't forget to give this video a positive rating. To ensure you never miss a video, please click the bell and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Goodbye.